Greetings, one and all. Yes, it's your brother, Shaka Ben Judah. I know some of you all might have seen me recently with all my face in the camera, not paying attention to my focus, talking to the legendary Dougie Fresh. You know, had a good time at the Chuck Brown celebration at the Chuck Brown Memorial Park. This was the Chuck Brown Memorial celebration that they always have every year, you know, for Chuck Brown and celebrating go-go DC's music, man. It's always a fun time and a hot time, you know what I mean, as far as, you know, hearing some real funky go-go, and sometimes some of the rappers like Dougie coming out and jumping on the stage and, you know what I mean, blessing the mic and whatnot. So, you know, it was real fantastic, and it was a great time. And I apologize for not having Dougie totally focused and when I was talking with him, but y'all know who I was talking to, with those of you all who saw it. So, you know, I want to just give a shout out to the Chuck Brown family and to the people who put the whole thing together every year at the Chuck Brown Memorial Park, aka Langdon Park. So, you know, without further ado, we're gonna jump right in it today, man. It's some things we gotta talk about, man, that I'm telling you. I like to sit back and I like to listen, you know, to a lot of the different, you know, black news channel people like Jason and Tariq and, you know, Phil and, you know, and Professor and all those guys, you know what I mean? And, you know, I listen and, you know, RZA and all these cats, and I be hearing, you know, what the language is and what is really, you know, the topic of what people are dealing with at that moment in time. And this music in the background, yeah, I own no rights to none of this music in the background you all hear. So, you know, if you hear something that's bubbling in your mind and you like it, you know, just know I don't own the rights to it. So, I mean, you know, we need to re-educate ourselves on some things here, man. You know, I know this it's been a topic that's been going on, you know what I mean, about how the term black is never being used, and how that the government doesn't use it and the TV media doesn't use it. And for some reason, it seems like some of you all think that this is something that's new, that, you know, like just happened in the millennial era, you know, like the term black not being used. I mean, if you look at a lot of different, you know, rooms and chats, you know, posts and blogs, you hear a lot of different rhetoric going on about the word black not being used, and, you know what I mean, and how it's disrespectful that we're all being lumped in. And it is, as minorities and as people of color, which we aren't. You know, we're black American people, native freemen of this country. You know, they you know, they use all these terms to say anything but black. But what you all tend to forget is that, you know, this isn't new. You know what I mean? Them not using the term black. They know, you know, the term black now, like Jason and all them cats say now, the term black is now Chicago, or, you know, talking about gangbangers, or you know, the rappers, you know, talking about rap music, and, you know, but more so like Chicago. That's the term black, you know, or how, you know, there are more deaths in the gang black community. That's the term for all black people, you know, mostly when it has anything to do with, like, you know, a city that has a lot of killings that's gang related, like Chicago or Philly or Detroit. You know what I mean? They tend to like to use those cities, you know what I mean? Like, well, you know, it's not like what's going on in Chicago up there, you know, that's how they, you know what I mean, phrase it. And that's the term, that's the new term for black. That's how they say black now. Black is being noted at, is actually a term that's being used by way of calling out a particular city as predominantly black and that has a lot of crime issues with that gang sect. You know what I mean? But to re-educate you all a little bit, man, let's go back some decades, you know, like back in the 60s, you know, when I forget who the Secretary of State was, and also who was it was a cohesive group that came together with a memorandum back in the 60s. And that memorandum was pushed first to Lyndon B. Johnson, and Lyndon B. Johnson had that memorandum to be passed on down to people like Nixon, and and they continued that particular policy. And the memorandum came up was a memorandum given to the White House because it was so much attention, brought on to black people, because in the 60s we were called Negroes and black people. You know what I mean? The word black wasn't a problem to be used up until this memorandum came up. And some of you already know where I'm hitting at, and some of you all who don't. And that memorandum was called a benign and neglect policy. Now, I know you all say, well, how does that have to do with them not saying the word black? Well, it has all to do with why they don't say the word black. Because if you take the time and Google that policy and read that policy, because it's for public viewing now, you will see in that policy, it talks about how they want to get away from talking about black people in America. And they use the word black and Negroes in America. How they want to now focus the conversation because it's too much attention. See, they knew that we had a momentum, and they wasn't trying to wake up the more woke people back then to really focus on reparations, because you had so many coons that all they cared about was sitting at the cafeteria or working beside a white person on the job, feeling like they belong or could move near a white neighborhood or move in a white neighborhood, because as soon as you moved in back then, the white people moved out, whereas reversed now. I can imagine that. So, I'm like, what they were doing, they said they need to take and put the focus more on Asian American, Pacific Islanders. They need to put the focus more on Latino. That's what actually they said. This is in the memorandum, that they want to change the focus to stop talking about black people so much, and to change the focus on to talk about Latinos, Asian Americans. You know what I mean? They hadn't really talked about so much Arabs then, but Indians and things like that. Now right there's your change from black right there. Because if you're talking about dealing with more than one different race of people, and these races that you're talking about are considered people of color because, they're a little yellow or a little brown or a little tan. You know what I mean? Now you're making a group which you can lump everybody in now called minority. But see, back then it was known as minority immigrants. You see? They was known as minority immigrants. But that word immigrant dropped. You see? And it just stuck to minority, thus moving away from black. Now you remember now, this is back in the 60s, the memorandum that brought forth the policy benign neglect. That was in that memorandum, that was in the policies of benign neglect. To move away from talking about black to now focus more on Asians, Native American Indians, the red ones, of course, the yellow ones, and the $5 white ones. Take the focus more on Pacific Islanders and Latinos. Now, what do you see happening today? Latinos flooding the borders. Crime bills for Asians who only got 2% of the damn population. So, you got to do your math a little bit here. So, back then, they had already made the policies. It was for government to follow. You know, this was a policy. It was a policy for white supremacy in government. For the white supremacist arm of the government to put forth this policy and keep it enacted until the day that you all now are starting to wonder why you don't ever say black. The reason why they don't say black because it's a part of the benign neglect policy. They can't neglect you and benign you if they're talking about you. If they mention you specifically. Remember? No, I ain't doing it specifically for black people. No. Skiwi. So to benign and neglect you, they had to stop talking about you as a people, period, and lump you in along with the who? Minority immigrants, thus dropping the immigrant in this minority and bringing forth that people of color thing. Thus today you have what? People of color, minorities, brown and black, which who are the brown people? Because these brown people, you claim are brown people, they all classify themselves as white. They all extend the arm of white supremacy. They all are honorary white supremacists. Even some of the blacks that come from these Latino countries classify themselves as white to go along with, you know, the policies of white supremacy to fight against, you know, whoever they're fighting against in that country so they can be a part of the tangible getters, the crumb takers, the roaches. So this is why you don't never hear the word black anymore. You know? Black was already in the 50s being, you know, stamped out by J. Edgar Hoover. And so when they saw that we started getting great momentum, you know, they had to come up with something to take the focus off black people in America, foundation of black Americans, by way of either Aboriginal or by way of either the killing fields of the South. They had to take the focus off of that. So, therefore, they can't say the word black. They gotta say anything else but black. That's part of the benign neglect policy. So, I hope you all followed that little tidbit of a history lesson. For those who wonder why they don't ever say black, it's a policy, it's a government policy for them not to talk about you. For them to lump you in with everybody else. Till eventually you are non and void. They mix you in till you mixed out. That's what they're doing. And that brings me to my other part. Now, they just recently signed a bill. You see, and here's a conversation that's it's gearing towards women. But real women, I'm talking about. We ain't talking about these Frankenstein-looking people out here with wigs on, a man with a ding-a-ling long as mine, or he cut it off and or he split it up and made some kind of freaking concoction of a poom-poom that ain't no real poom-poom. Like T.S. Giselle and the big silverback ass, you know. We ain't talking about somebody who will cis and miss and tis, all this old bullshit. All this unnatural shit that these people trying to get a lot of you fools who go along with to go along with. They signed a bill just recently, right? And y'all know what bill I'm talking about. That's the climate change bill, right? You know, that big bill they supposed to have, climate change and all that. Man, y'all gotta learn to start looking into some of these bills and what all it's you know, like it you know. Well, I tell you, America is something else, boy. And a lot of you all like to go along with it, you know what I mean? Because, you know, it's like the great Dr. Francis Cress Welsing said that it's not so much that the system is working and that it has the people so blind that they don't see what's going on. No, you all just acting like you don't see what's happening and just going along. You act like you don't see what's going on. Y'all just acting like, oh, it's, I'm gonna go, it's supposed to go away. I ain't gonna look at it. Like, that area over there in your house is dirty as hell. You've been paying that shit no attention about a year now. That shit just, probably no tell what you found it. You just keep acting like you don't, you gotta go there and get it eventually one day. But that's how y'all act along with white people and how they assist upon you with their bullshit rules and regulations, how you don't push back. You all just go along and act like, you don't even see what's really happening. Y'all turn a blind eye to your own demise. But this climate change bill, man, you gotta start looking and reading it. Look, y'all, they dress something up, man. You can dress a hog up and put lipstick and eyelashes on like these dumb chicks out here walking around here looking like Mr. Ed with these eyelashes long as a hand and shit. You know what I mean? You can dress a hog up and put eyelashes and put lipstick on it. Guess what? It's still a hog. So America just dressed up this climate change bill, man. But this climate change bill is a crock of bullshit, man. And I've been listening to people like Tyreek and all them breaking it down, and Professor Black Truth broke it down real good. And I looked into it myself. I was like, damn, if he ain't bullshit, man, he telling the truth. Let me tell y'all, man, this climate change bill is a crock of shit. It's got a lot of bells and whistles for all the America's agenda programs. Check this out. Do y'all know that climate change bill has a disability bill, has a disability package that is for transsexual people? Now, when we say transsexual, they're not really talking about the women trying to be men. They mostly talking about the men trying to be women. Because they really pushing the men trying to be women. You'll never see really pushing the women trying to be men thing. The women trying to be men, there's plenty I'm sure doing it. I don't even know one personally. But the women trying to be men thing, it's not a big promoted thing. That's not what they're trying to promote. Which ties another part of my conversation in. The women trying to be men thing is not promoted big as the men trying to be woman thing. And you know why that is, y'all? Which brings me to the third point. But I'm going to go back to my climate change bill and tell you how they using that bill to put a package in there for disability for trans people. Imagine that. Well, what I was about to say, and I'm going to jump back, is I'm jumping all over. So you got to follow me now. Because, see, I be saying shit. You got to know how I just put these puzzles together as I piece them out there to you now. Because it's a lot of information. I ain't like, I'm one of these brothers. I consume my information with my mind. I might write down what I'm going to talk about, but I don't really write down my whole conversation like maybe a teleprompter, because then I'm not being pure and natural to you. And if I know what I'm talking about, I should be able to regurgitate what's in my mind on these subject matters when I read them, which I'm going to do. So you got to follow, man. So the puzzle is going to come out, but it's going to fit together if you fit it and you keep listening, you follow, and you pay attention. So I'm going to learn you. You see, this bill basically sets up a disability package for transsexual people. Now, like I said, we know who they're focusing on. They're focusing on the men transsexuals to women trying to be women, okay? And we know why they're focusing on that now, don't we, women? This is going back to you women. You know why they're focusing on that, women? Because they're trying to replace you chicks. They trying to replace you all who can have a baby with somebody who can't even have a doo-doo baby. If they try to make a baby come out, it had to probably come out their ass and it'll be a doo-doo baby. Flies be all around it. Can't no man have no baby. I don't care how the technology is, he can't do it. I don't care if they killing women, taking their uteruses and they all that, and they don't whatever I heard they stealing around these days. That still ain't gonna work. All you gonna do is kill one of these damn crazy ass men who trying to be a woman and decide to go all the way with some fool operation by you taking some dead woman's uterus and putting it up in his ass that does not biologically fit and gonna kill your stupid ass. So while they killing their asses, their government is allowing them. This is why I respected Trump when he killed all that shit in the army and the military, but this damn senile bastard came in and just signed it back in for them. Imagine, what does the military got to do with you and your sexuality? We supposed to be saving people, not goddamn trying to turn people into playing Dr. Kevorkian, Frankenstein, or Sting. Frankenstein. It's Frankenstein. It's Frankenstein. I'm just saying, though, you know what I mean? When has the military got into that type shit? And that's why I don't blame Trump for killing that. Y'all keep making like Trump was on it. No, Trump had a lot of shit. Right now, you motherfuckers see. Now, I ain't saying that motherfucker was the right president, but the shit that he was cutting the fuck out made a lot of sense. Build that motherfucking wall. Now you motherfuckers crying, New York, and all y'all got these busload of people. Got Hasidic Jews out there greeting people. Them Hasidic Jews greeting them people, and they ain't gonna go in your Hasidic ass Jew neighborhood. You're gonna Hasidically move their ass down there with the niggas. So now stop that Hasidic bullshit. Out there with your Hasidic signs and shit, talking about Benavides and all that bullshit. Fuck out of here. You know goddamn well, Guadalupe ain't gonna be in no goddamn Yom Kippur neighborhood. Fuck out of here with that bullshit. Out there with them signs greeting people. Like y'all just be trying to just goddamn camera chasing this, you know. Look at me, we doing something. If you're sincere, you weren't trying to be on no cameras. Sincere people don't want to get no notification. They just want to do it for you, and y'all just keep that quiet. Don't worry about it, you know. Hey, that's something I want to do. It ain't about no notoriety. That it's not about that. I hate when people come to me and tell me some shit about, oh, what I did. Man, shut the fuck up, man. Now I gotta do the penny for penny shit with you and tell you about all the shit I done did for you more than what the fuck you did for me. That's that penny any shit. Back to this penny any ass bill. So look how it works. It's called, right, a condition disorder. The disability to collect this disability as a trans person, you have to have this thing called the CD. I almost said it. I ain't trying to get daggone flag. I almost said it. I ain't got a pack right here. I just got finished eating some Nabisco. So anyway, these white people crazy. You hear what I say? It's called what is a condition disorder? I'm gonna tell you what it is. They had a point in case, and they got a case law. What is it called? Yeah, case law. It's a case that, you know how it goes down like Roe versus Wade and it becomes a law, case law. Well, it's not so much a law, but they're using it like one. So what's a condition disorder? Check it out. A condition disorder is this. This brother or sister, no, I ain't gonna say no sister, it's this man who trying to be a sister, who can't have no babies, wasn't born to reprocreate, got locked up. And I guess he had the titties and he had the ass and he didn't have the pony, I guess, because they didn't get that far. But they must have saw the titties and like, oh, Okay, we gotta send him to the women's jail. See, the dumb fucks didn't even wait for him to pull his pants off to see if anything gonna drop low. Because I don't think he had got that operation yet. Well, he ain't got that operation. You're gonna find out in this story. This is a true story. So they took the fool and they sent him to the damn women's prison. Now, while he in the women's prison, all of a sudden now, him taking all these pills and all these estrogen injections and, you know, titties and, you know, ass, you know, getting all this woman shit going on with him or trying to be, you know, using himself as a fucking guinea pig. He gets in prison, and guess what this so-called man who wants to be a woman did while he's in prison? All of a sudden, he's got attracted to women again and impregnate for them. So, because y'all are gone psychologically crazy, alphabet LGBT, SU, whatever, V, cis plus mus and dust community, since y'all so mental, because in 1972 they had classified you all as mental, and y'all proving it every day how mental you are. But the sad part about it, you got the government playing along with this mental ass goddamn pretend game with y'all, which I'm not gonna play with y'all. This government has an agenda. And this, I'm gonna probably go past 30 minutes, so this is gonna probably be a 2-part. And like I say, once again, this music you hear in the background, I ain't got nothing to do with it. I ain't recording none of this music. These brothers record a lot of this music many years ago when I was a little boy. And I just don't have the rights to none of it, so, you know, don't be flagging me because I don't have the rights to this music, but we just playing as background. Can you dig it? So, because they like to play this cuckoo game, and like they say in 1972, up into 72, this gay shit was looked at as a psychological disorder. Being gay and this weird shit was a psychological. It was. I mean, it is. It still is. Something wrong with you up here. If you feel like you a real woman and all this here body, that look at that, and then you want to go and try to take that, and I don't, you know, I can't make no woman flex, y'all, because I ain't built that way. But anyway, like I was saying, so because y'all psychological, it takes something disorder to make you feel like you are a woman, and then start to physically and chemically and with operations to change yourself into that. Y'all say, soul man think as soul man is. But I don't think he meant it verbatim like that. I mean, some of you are extremists gonna be like, yeah, that's what God means. That's what God means. Some of you extremists. No, God speaks in parables. Our minds will understand, and I think I have somewhat of a better understanding than that. Yes, soul man think a soul man can be, but then sometimes that man think of this and right with it. Think of it wrong with it. His ass is mental with it. You understand what it is? Motherfucker's insane. Up until 1972. So now this disorder condition, they took the motherfucker out and the psychiatrist went to him and they asked him, well, if you're trying to be a woman, you're transitioning and you're doing all this, why would you go in there and you amongst your sisters, why would you impregnate them with your member as a man? Why would you go in there and basically fuck them like a nigga, like the nigga you are? You know why? Because he is a nigga. And that's pussy. And that dick got hard. And that ass is real fucking ass. And that's real fucking pussy. And what he got is some pretend shit. So the real man came out. And he went and fucked them bitches. He ain't give a fuck about knocking them hoes up. He knocked them bitches up because the man came back out of him. See, now that's that psycho shit. Oh shit, I done used this to get in here. Oh man, I'm around these bitches. I'm smelling pussy all day. I see fat ass. I'm fucking this bitch. And some of you hoes is kind of goddamn weird and lost and turned out because y'all ain't thinking. Doing this dumb shit. Going along with it. If you ain't fucking them, then you're hooing. Every time you hear about one of them getting married and all that bullshit. But here just recently, 2 of them just got locked up for abusing sexually they 2 adopted children. But y'all are quick to adopt, man. That's a whole nother subject. But back to the bill. Because if this cuts off, you know it's going to be a part 2. And it is going to be a part 2 because we done gone over 30 minutes, so we done probably into the part 2 now. So when they asked that fool, when they brought him into psychological evaluation, he says, I have a disorder condition as to why I went in there as a woman with women and I fucked them as a man and knocked them up. So, this disorder condition, because see, the government don't know that this shit is a disorder. The government know that it's a sickness to this gay shit. All these motherfuckers trying to be women and men. Y'all trying to replace real women with men who pretending to be women with wearing wigs. These big silverback ass niggas shoulders big as mine, biceps is as powerful as mine. Niggas is, you know, these dudes. I was looking at The Shot, and my man, that gay nigga who played Johnny Gill, you know, who don't mind kissing on boys on screen, so he's really gay. He just ain't come out of the closet yet because he's gay. I don't care. You can fool yourself and talk about, well, if it's classified as women, it's women. You know, he dressed, he looks good. Nigga, please, that ain't no woman, that's a man. You know, that dude he kissing and hugging on, nigga got a chin in the head longer than the goddamn, what's it, the Green Goblin on Spider-Man. Look at that motherfucker's head on The Shot. And that dude who played Johnny Gill, who in love with that little light skin, that big ass light skin nigga. That nigga about 6'1", about big as he is. You know what I mean? Shoulders broader. Nigga head and his chin pointy like motherfucking the Green Goblin. And you sitting there kissing it all up on it. And that nigga hands and his arms just as big as... Get the fuck out of here, man. That's sickness. That's the disorder that they went ahead and then start giving these motherfuckers money because they already know it's a disorder. It's a disorder condition. And you all now put that in your climate bill to pay these daggone fools to further themselves to help and become more of a woman than a woman. And the woman is a real woman because can't none of you all drop that nay baby. All you can drop is doo-doo. And you can't even drop a doo-doo baby. So I'm like, God damn. Y'all really trying to replace women. And you're going to give these motherfuckers money in a bill that's supposed to be for a climate. If I'm lying, I'm flying. Check it out for your fucking selves. So, let's talk about back to the blackness a bit. Tyreek brought out some good damn going information. And when these brothers bring out information, I go and I look and I find for myself and I read it and I just regurgitate what I read and what I know and I done seen and I done learned. And he right.